Hello everyone, welcome back to Presidential Facts. This is episode 2. Today's president, John Adams. I have a personal connection to this president due to one of my aunts tracing back our bloodline and finding his DNA. Adams, as the first vice president of the United States, would move on to be the second president of the United States due to him being in office around the time Washington decided not to run for his third term. Washington quit after his second term, setting the path for almost every president to follow after 2 terms until FDR was elected 4 freaking times, so Congress changed it to be only 2. He had to go up against his old friend, Thomas Jefferson, and at first they were a little bit sad about it, but then came political division. This was the first kind of real presidential debate of the time. John Adams was called a Federalist. He believed in a strong central government, while his rival, Jefferson, was an anti-federalist who believed in more power to the state government. So when these two squared off, it wasn't pretty. They both used blackmail against each other. Of course, as the election process was different than today, you didn't choose a running mate to be your vice president. So when Adams came in first, guess who came in second? That's right, Jefferson. You had the 2 most hated adversaries against each other in the same office. To use a modern-day example, it's like having Hillary Clinton be the vice president of Donald Trump. Of course, after 2 terms, John Adams had to stop, because Jefferson just kept painting lies in him. But what Adams did to kind of get his final revenge against Jefferson, he filled the cabinet with his own people, therefore making Jefferson's presidency miserable. When Jefferson's daughter died 4 years into his term, his wife convinced Adams to basically write a sorry letter to Jefferson. So, can you guess how Jefferson responded to this letter? He said, "Thank you for mourning the loss of my daughter, but I still hate your guts." So they pretty much had a period of time for 10 years where they didn't interact with each other. 10 years later, they started just writing to each other again like the old friends they were. 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed, John Adams died of old age. On July 4th, he uttered his final words, "Jefferson lives." How did Thomas Jefferson react to these heartfelt final words? You'll just have to see in tomorrow's episode of Presidential Facts.